Hey up guys, S-Man here, back at it again with a brand new Horizons review. Before we get right into this episode, make sure you guys like, subscribe, and leave a comment about your thoughts on the episode because we are reaching the end of the Rayquaza Rising arc. We have about like 4 or 5 more episodes, and for all we know, this could be the end of Horizons because they're heading to Rockaway soon. So yeah, let's just get right into the review. This episode starts off with Briar and the rest of the Rising Bow tacklers arriving to the point where Entei was spotted, where they set up a picnic in order to discuss what the next game or the next move is. Meanwhile, Onyx and Coral are still watching over them, and we see Coral's new Pokemon. That is when just gouging fire just comes out of nowhere, like no setup. They're just saying, "Whatever should we do to find Entei?" Then gouging fire just comes from the heavens and just like challenges them to a battle. Based on its reactions, they all realize, hey, this definitely is the Entei that was Lucius because all the hero Pokemon come out and even Terrapagos has a reaction. But Liko declares what their goal is of reassembling the hero Pokemon and making it back to Rukua and asks gouging fire to join the team. That's when it bows its head and just snatches the belt from Liko of all the hero Pokemon, recalling all of them to the Pokeballs and hiding it in his mane, basically declaring to Liko, hey, if you're gonna want, if you are gonna take me and my friends, you're beating me in a fight. So that's when the Rising Attackers get up and get ready to rumble, with Briar and Terrapago standing on the side to record and cheer them on. Now I gotta say, that's a really good setup for a fight. As much as I hate the way gouging fire just appears, let's be real, it makes it. I don't know. Like it would have been a waste if like we spent like a lot of the episode also just searching for gouging fire instead of focusing on the battle. Which I gotta say, this is probably my favorite encounter battle with one of the Lucius Pokemon, including Rayquaza, which is next episode. But like this is my favorite one. My only really complaint is I'm just gonna get it out the way with now. They didn't use their other Pokemon, especially when they were coming up like making discoveries about gouging fire because gouging fire isn't pure fire type like they originally thought, and when they learn that's actually a fire dragon type, that would have been a smart time for Liko and Dot to call out their fairy type Pokemon, but nope, we don't. But yeah. So basically, the battle begins with them all rushing in, thinking it's a fire, or like a pure fire, stopping tantrum, liquidation, acrobatics, basically their regular moves. But that all fails because gouging fires increases its eternal body temperature, and it's extremely hot, so they're unable to touch it. So they realize, hey, we gotta get at it from afar. But once they start doing that, gouging fire begins to charge at the rising volt tacklers, where that's when Cap's Pikachu uses a a thunder punch similar to how it used on Entei to little effect. So they're all shocked about how strong this Entei is. That's when Entei starts unleashing dragon type moves, and they start putting it together that it is actually a dragon fire type. And I gotta say, everyone did their role in this episode, but this episode was really a standout for Dot specifically because Dot basically took over the strategy. She controlled the strategy, and I love how they all like how in like lately in battles the trip, especially with the 3 of them, they've all like had their own inputs on strategy, but we see Dot taking more of a back seat, being more of a support. But in a lot of them, Dot has taken back a back seat and been more of a support alongside an observer, able to point out basically its weaknesses and the potential strategies that can be come up with, which is Dot has actually done a lot in these battles. And it's nice to see that each of the Rising Bolt tacklers are getting like, or the trio of the Rising Bolt tackler kids are getting their own roles in battles. Dot more analyzing, Liko more the leader slash middle ground between her and Dot, and Roy being more of just the the brute force, even though they all share like good battling skills. But yeah, Dot comes up with a strategy of basically the others distracting, gouging fire, while while she increases her water type moves in order to do more damage. So she sends Quaxley in the lake that's nearby. What a coincidence that there's a pond nearby. Having it unleash Air Cutter, which actually turns into Aqua Cutter, I think the move is in English. I don't really know. I watch it subs, obviously. But yeah, this actually does some damage on Gouging Fire, but once it charges up its heat body again, it just evaporates all the water. And that's really the big struggle for this battle. They go in close, Gouging Fire activates its heat body. So they start fighting from afar. Gouging Fire also fights from afar, but eventually activates its flame body. I don't know if that's not what its ability is, but like I don't really know what it's doing. It's just like they don't really say all they really say is that it's increasing its body temperature, and like it's really hot whenever they attack it. But yeah, we also get to see a really cool move with once they start getting the upper hand on Gouging Fire, it actually uses its Dragon Pulse to activate the Paradox Pokemon ability that all the the past Paradox have, where in the sunlight they grow stronger, and it combines that with its basically already strength and fire like body abilities to basically create a pillar of fire going up to the heavens and rushes all the rising volt attackers, doing massive damage to all of them. That's when Dot actually comes up with an idea, but in order to fulfill it, they need to terrestrialize in order to lure Gouging Fire into the pond. Her plan is to basically have all of them terrestrialize and use their moves on Gouging Fire, dealing a lot of damage while Gouging Fire chases her, due to her being. While they also lure Gouging Fire back into the pond in order to basically cool its body down and just basically have it in an area where Dot could do a lot of damage. But it was actually meant to be a distraction, and instead of Dot fighting, she actually has Quaxley get out of the area so Pikachu could land a Thunder Punch on Gouging Fire and basically create, let's just say, basically recreate what Ash did against Brock, where Pikachu's Thunder electric moves weren't originally doing good, but once you get a little water on that sucker, he's unstoppable. And they basically take out Gouging Fire that way. And I gotta say, props on Dot for basically not only learning a new move, but basically coming up with the strategy to take Gouging Fire down. Gotta say, Dot has really been impressive. Was really impressive in this battle. And I can't wait to see what she does in the future battles. But yeah. I also really like the detail of them all slowly putting together that, hey, this might not be a regular Entei. It's a Paradox Pokemon. Where that's when Briar pulls out the legit name it was given to them from the Scarlet book. I liked how they all put that together slowly, and it just shows like these kids aren't idiots. Like they're able to figure things out battle wise and basically just like Pokemon wise, and just like discover secrets that aren't really known to a lot of people. But yeah, with beating Gouging Fire in a battle, they get the belt back and they've beaten Gouging Fire. And I like how Dot is the one who says, Gouging Fire, we beat you, because this was really Dot's battle. And yeah, so basically, now that they beat Gouging Fire, it shows them their classic Lucius flashback where we see Lucius and Gouging Fire playing before him and Ristle set off to somewhere, and Gouging Fire joins the team. And we also get a funny update to that whole Lucius episode that we got, fixing the Entei seeds in that episode, and I think that is just fun. But yeah, now that they've assembled 5 of the 6 hero Pokemon, they all call out for Rayquaza, and Rayquaza just shows up. No, it saves a lot of effort of going to seek out Rayquaza. And besides that, and along with that, Rayquaza has always been close by to the hero Pokemon whenever one is summoned. For example, when Arboliva was first summoned, Rayquaza had just been spotted in the area. Same thing with Moltres. And even with Lapras, once they caught Lapras, Rayquaza just showed up. So yeah, it's not really like out of the blue that, hey, Rayquaza's nearby already. But yeah, that's all I really got to say about this episode. Good episode for Dot, good episode just for the team as a whole, and they finally got Gouging Fire and are one step closer to Riku. And that's really it. I'm going to give this episode 8 out of 10. Really good. My only major complaint is they could have used their second Pokemon in the battle. But that's actually fixed in the next episode. But you get to hear my fault about that in the next video. So yeah, hope you guys like, subscribe, leave a comment about your thoughts. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I hope you just enjoyed my little ramble session. But yeah, S-Man signing off.